in my purpose. I'm walking in my purpose. I'm walking in my purpose. I'm walking in my purpose.
So today with us on Store Talk, we're honored to have a return guest, but this time she's definitely got something to talk about. She's definitely been walking in her purpose on purpose, and that's what we do on Store Talk. We walk in our purpose on purpose. She's guaranteed been dominating in the classroom and on the track, game just developing, and she's here to talk about some big news and exciting stuff that she went through and got to experience. Today we have with us again, put your hands together, Miss Azurie Garrett. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. So how has it been? How has everything been? How have you been soaking up the moment? How has everything been feeling?
It's been a long journey, a lot of learning, a lot of new experiences. It's been fun though.
Yeah. Can you share with us some of the like most of fun you had individually and with your team from this season?
So I'd say individually, probably getting second place at states and then advancing to nationals. And then with my team is like winning the NLL again. And then we gained some new girls, so it was really cool winning with them because they felt like what it felt like to win two this time as a
Yeah.
team.
Yeah. And that was on my list of questions. So what I want you to do is give those girls a shout out.
Yeah, so we have Lily Good. She's a sophomore. She goes to Whitmer. We have Sage Hudson. She goes to Whitmer. She's a sophomore too. And then Braylon Dunn. She's a junior and she goes to Whitmer.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I had that in my notes because I seen y'all
Yeah.
making strides and seeing how good there is. So now, when you first started, you started and you had others ahead of you that was the upperclassmen. Now you're the upperclassman with people under you. How do you take your approach as far as allowing your work and your hard work and good habits to rub off on them and be that leader?
So I basically set the pace, whether that be practice or having like good affirmations. Like there would be some meets where we'd be very like discouraged about how we would do because like for each one of us, like a piece we'd be running like four events and we'd be tired. So we needed that motivation. So I'd be there for them. And then at practice, I'd be the one at the front running the workouts and then they would just like join me.
Yeah. And I remember from our last interview, we had the question, what type of leader are you are? So now we see as you gradually improve and get better, you're a leader with your voice and with your play and with, the way that you carry yourself and you're rubbing off good habits because it's championship DNA that you're going to leave inside those players, like especially Sage, because I see she's going to be
Yeah.
another one coming, so shout
Yeah.
out Sage. What records did you break? Did you tie or did you, get this year?
So for the 300 hurdles, I broke that record 2 days in a row at States. I don't remember my first time that I broke it, but for the second day at States when I qualified, I ran like a 43:08, I believe. So that's a
Yeah.
lot from last year because I ran a 43:98. So that's almost like a whole second off.
Wow. Yeah, but you put in that work this summer, last summer. So, it's only gonna go down and down and down because of you
Mhm.
put that hard work. And I don't think a lot of people know because are humble, you're selfless, and you quiet, but your play and your game speak for itself because you really do put in hard work during them summers. How do you stay motivated during the tough training sessions, even after like disappointing races sometimes?
So mainly my main source of motivation is my mom, I would say. She just reminds me what I came there to do and what I can be. And I just feel like I should give my props to her because she's like my motivational person that keeps me intact.
Yeah, shout out to you, mom. Yeah, she goes, man. She's one of those moms, and I tell her this too about you. She makes sure she's there. She the Deion Sanders, a mother, traveling from two states to get you from this
Yeah,
meet to the other meet. Man, that's gonna be in somebody's story one day because that's amazing. Some people can't even get
yeah,
to one meeting. Y'all traveling state to state, but she making it happen. And I
yeah.
know she's very proud and she see how it is. And you got your little sister looking up to you, Miss Navy.
Yeah,
Shout her out too.
they're rooting for me.
Yeah. What drives you to be great at your sport? Is there any specific things or what drives you after you keep on winning and you're getting better and better? What causes you not to be complacent?
I feel like just seeing what I've done in the past years, and I know I can do more than that. I feel like that keeps me going, and I just want to see my progress with that pretty much.
Yeah, I love that. Keep that drive. Some people be like, yeah, I already did this and doing that. But no, Azurie wants more. So she trains harder and she goes in. Tough nights when her legs is feeling like spaghetti. She
Yeah.
still knows. Yeah, she still knows, like, I gotta do this. I gotta put in the work. How do you prepare mentally and physically for your races? Even when it's ones at stake, like at nationals, like at the state meets, how do you prepare?
So sometimes I listen to music, and when I listen to music, I just block out everybody. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm just in my own zone. And then before my race, I just run it. But then other times I go over my affirmations and I pray. Like I pray with my teammates too, if we're like running a relay. And that helps us a lot.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. How important would you say that is having the faith and being able to pray with your team? Because a lot of people need to know that they can have that. Some people might want to do it individually, might want to do it collectively, but not knowing how it's gonna work out. And here you saying you use that as motivation, something
Yeah.
as a positive thing. So speak to the youth and other athletes about how important that is.
I feel like it's very important. Like, obviously, I don't know what they personally believe in. So I asked them first, I'm like, do you guys want to pray? And if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. So even if we do good or not how we expected, the fact is we still completed it and we still had hope in ourselves.
Yeah. And see that's how I know that you're mentally focused and prepared because you said the main thing, seeing what they believe in, seeing if they wanted to, and not just pushing it on them. A lot of times people push stuff on people, but seeing is they okay with it and seeing how it changes and seeing prayer works. So they like, yeah, come on, y'all. They probably don't deserve. We gotta make sure we pray. You know, they on top of it. Can you walk us through a typical work week for you? Like during the season and then one after season?
So typically during like the school season, during track season, we would have like two workouts a week, and that depended on if we had track meets or not, because we would be sore sometimes after workouts. And then we would have those off days, which we did our skills, like I would do hurdles. Some people would do like their field events. So I feel like that good like rotation on and off really helped us because we have our break and then we just get right back to what we were doing. So then for our off season, we get in the weight room and then I'm just mainly doing my hurdle stuff.
Yeah. Man, that's good. You recently competed at the New Balance National Championship. How was that experience for you, and what did you learn competing at such a high level nationally?
It was very, very scary. I went with my mom and my grandma, and they kept having to tell me, like, this is your first time. This is all for the experience, and you got this. And I feel like a lot of the pressure did get to me, but I did experience what I'd be doing in my future for college, which is 400 hurdles. And then it was really cool seeing a lot of good athletes there. Like, these kids are way younger than me, 15, 16, breaking national records. And it's just really cool to see, like, these other kids and all the work they put in and what they're displaying.
Yeah, so you would say comparing it from state and national, it's a totally different monster.
It's totally different, just way more, just bigger
Yeah,
atmosphere.
yeah, and we talked about the family and the support. Shout out to your granny because she goes to the events with you, your granddad, and all your family. And I noticed that you have a family support that supports you no matter the distance or how far it is as well. Is there any particular things that they tell you that they help you, or they just see how you handle it, or do they give you the motivational talks on the way down to the meets?
So like they just always tell me like, "Oh, you got it, you go, girl," because they already know that I'm just gonna like get in my mode and just com complete that race. Like they just always have faith in me, I'd say.
Yeah. Do you have any mentors, coaches who influence you in your development as an athlete?
So obviously my school coach, Coach Browning, he's been through me like all my track career. He's saying we've like built this program, which I believe is 100% true, and it's showing. And I love that he gives me my props, and I love giving him his props. And then recently, I started working with their trainer, Bubby.
Shout out to Bubby. Shout out to
Yeah,
Bubby the GOAT. Shout out to Bubby.
it's cool working with him too because I'm learning stuff that I haven't learned with my high school coach, and like he's teaching me different things, and then with my high school coach, I'm learning things that I haven't learned with him. So they're going hand in hand.
Yeah. So what will be your main goal heading to your senior season? Is there any records that you want to break? Is there any milestones you want to compete, or where do you want to be at?
Definitely want to break some more records. I want to see if I can get in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if that's possible in my school, but I want to try. I'm definitely getting looked at some colleges if that's possible, probably doing some tours and visits, but ultimately just doing better than I did last year, just progressing.
Yeah, so as you reach your senior year, looking at the colleges and them reaching out to you, how are you going to handle, how you balance your academics, being that you academically at a high level too, academically all league, academically probably all state too as well. How will you
Mhm.
balance that and not let that get in the way of your academics? But besides, Miss Tisha getting you. Well, how would you balance that? Because you know she'd be on them grades.
I feel like for me it would be like having to make time for schoolwork when it needs to be appropriate and then track when it needs to be appropriate. Also picking a good college that has good resources for me with academics, I feel like that would help a lot because I am going to be a student athlete.
Yeah, yeah, definitely you are. What advice would you give to the younger athletes who trying to balance or have trouble with balancing the sports and the academics?
Obviously school comes first, but once you find your groove with it, just make time for the stuff that is important. Like don't just give it all up. Just keep it consistent. Consistency is key pretty much.
Yeah. And after high school, you're going to go to college, competing on college. Do you think you want to see how far you can get in college and maybe go national, maybe go Olympics, or maybe just stay in the sport? Have you thought about that, or you're taking it little by little?
I'm taking it little by little, but I definitely want to stay in the sport. And I know it's a hard thing to do. So I'm just trying to see where I can go right now and then see where that takes me. So,
Yeah.
yes.
And that's one thing I love about you as an athlete, because you make the main thing the main thing. You don't get too ahead of yourself, even with the praise, the interviews, the awards, athlete of the weeks. You still remain humble and know, like, hey,
Yeah.
it's still something I want to go. That's what I love from you. So continue to keep that. What has been the most challenging obstacle that you faced so far in your career, and how has you overcome it?
I'd say probably nationals or just like having to tell myself that like honestly like this sport doesn't define me. Like some days I'll have my off days, some days I'll have my highs and lows, but I just need to tell myself I am a good athlete. I've done this before, you can do it again. Just keeping myself in the game.
Yeah. Can you share a memorable moment from your track career, maybe? And since we're speaking about nationals, what was going through your head when you was taking a mark and when the gun go? Was you even thinking when you was running, or was you running and then thought about what just happened? And then let me ask you this on the backside. Did you like, man, if we ran it again, it'd be different?
Probably if I ran it again it'd be different, but it was just like it was a lot going on. You have to remember a lot in a short period of time. I haven't ran that race before, so I'm like, oh, I don't know. Should I do this? Should I do that? Trying to watch the girls in the other lane, but you're not supposed to do that because
Yeah.
they've ran it before. So it's just a lot going on in my head. I think I was doing a lot of thinking.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we proud of you that you were there at the moment. You accepted the challenge and you
Hmm.
gave it your all, and you were on that spotlight, and that's what's needed to see elevation. I remember at the end of our last interview, we prayed for favor for God to open up doors and put you around those people. So now that you're starting to see with your hard work, with your faith, with your ability, you're getting put on them stages around them people. So now you definitely know, okay, league, area, district, state, national again next year, I know where I need to be. Besides cheer and dance, are there other things that Azurie likes to do when she's not focusing on track or schoolwork?
I like to like draw and stuff. I'm really artistic. I recently went to Hobby Lobby and got a shirt and made my own shirt and it says track and star on it. So I really
Oh,
like creating stuff. Yeah.
creator, love it.
Yeah.
Last couple questions. What is your go-to meal or restaurant after a big track meet that you like to go to?
So I'd say like, well, before I'd say pasta and after pasta. My mom has told me you need your carbs to help me store my energy, and pasta is really good to me, so I don't have like a problem with eating it, and it's gonna benefit me. So I
Yeah.
really like eating pasta.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. So, I want you to give some advice for young hurdlers who aspire to be like you and aspire to even start hurdling, because I know hurdle is it's complicated.
Mhm.
It ain't just for the easy and the weak. You might fall, you might get discouraged because it's difficult. So, what would your advice be for hurdlers now and even up and coming ones?
So I would say is don't look at where other people are because other people are in different sets of progression than you. You might think like, oh, they all like they've got it going on, but they might be struggling with something too. And if you really like doing hurdles, stick to it because I was like at first I was like, oh, I'm really short. How am I gonna do this? But if you really like something, you should put your all into it and continue doing it pretty much.
Yeah, and words of encouragement for the youth overall, what would that be?
Keep pushing, keep pushing. Don't let nothing get in your way.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Azurie Garrett.